Alright folks, and welcome back to the channel. We're back with another video just set to discuss the beginning of the Como Cup and our last leg of our pre-season ahead of the start of the new season. We're also going to be discussing the bid rejected for our latest winger target, and just probably going to be discussing the shambles that is this transfer window, which is turning into. But to go over everything, I'm joined by Alistair. How you doing, Alistair?
Good thanks, mate. Good thanks.
Aye. Before we begin, I'd just like to wish our condolences to John Fallon, who passed away yesterday evening. Obviously, Celtic put a statement out on Twitter, hang me in the news. I'd just like to send our condolences to his family and his friends. It was somebody that Alistair knew pretty well. Alistair, you knew him quite well.
I probably got to 15 years, Josh, and I could talk about his career, about playing for Celtic, which he loved, but what I will say, it brought a Celtic legend what all the Lions are, and but an even better person, and it could rip. It would slag you if he knew you personally. He'd rip you a bits, give you dog's abuse. But that was just John, an absolute gem guy. And honest to God, I've been lucky enough over the last 15 or so years to get to know him. So I count
Aye,
myself one of the lucky ones. But it's a sore one, mate. I'm not gonna lie. But he's at peace now, so.
aye. No,
Again, condolences to his family and friends.
aye.
I've already spoke with him, and as you can imagine, they're a
No,
bit
definitely.
all over the place at the minute because it was sudden.
Aye. No, as you was talking about a legend, every player that's part of that team is immortal in I think Celtic's history, to be honest. And I think just in terms of the whole Scottish football landscape as well, I think every there's a genuine respect for anybody that was in that Lisbon Lion team just because what they achieved. But no, obviously rest in peace and condolences to his family and his friends, as we just said there. Um, Alistair, right. I'm going to say, right, what are we thinking of this transfer window? I
Um,
honestly, I'd love your honest opinions before I start.
are they
You
are they a, are they a transfer window? I mean,
know,
we brought in 6 players, I 6, and arguably you could say we've only improved the team in 2 positions. I mean,
aye,
I'm not writing off Yamada. I'm not going over the top with Anamura either, because it's pre-season games and the proof will be in the pudding. But I just love to, I just love to know the both thinking. But I would also love to know Rogers' thinking as well.
I think Rodgers will be fucking fuming. To be honest, and people are maybe saying, "Oh, well, Rodgers is to blame," and I don't buy it. I think it's utter piss. To be honest, I think Brendan Rodgers is, and this is my big issue, is Brendan Rodgers. We're at a point of where we could be the board out of sheer negligence again for the second time could lose probably our manager. One of your best is my fucking screen throws. Right.
No, you're all right.
No,
You're all right.
sorry. No, one of our best managers, as I was saying, for probably since Martin O'Neill, probably. Let's be honest.
Yeah, well, let's
Um,
be honest. They would be the top two in whatever order you've got a preference. But
um, aye, no, definitely. And the fact that the first time he left because of lack of transfer and just lack of ambition, we've not learned anything. And we're getting the same nonsense again and again and again and again. And see if Brendan Rodgers is leaving at the end of next season, doesn't matter. Does not fucking matter because you as a club, you still shouldn't just stop you bringing in players. You should have a a robust recruitment process in place that no matter who the manager is at Celtic Football Club, he can work with those players. Brendan Rodgers came in and worked with Rio Hatate, fine. Brendan Rodgers came in and worked with Kyogo, fine. Brendan Rodgers came in and worked with Maeda, fine. Brendan Rodgers came in and worked with Cameron Carter-Vickers, fine. They're no Brendan Rodgers as players, are they?
No.
So I don't buy this shit that, well, why would you back him if he's leaving? It's pathetic. It's a pathetic excuse for the club. And I'm not pissing the bed as such now. But I'm at the point where I'm like, what are we doing?
The anxiety's going up.
A week on Sunday, our league campaign begins, and we could be starting with a front three of Adam Ida, Dyson Maeda, and James Forrest. I mean, come on.
That's the best front three.
Aye, it's ridiculous, man. I mean, they need to get real, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired, fed up of it now. And I've tried to think positive and tried to not just come on here and moan, but come on. I mean, there's just this is dire. I'm going to Twitter every single day, and it's bid rejected when a player's worth 7 million. We're bidding fucking 1.4, 1.6. Get real. Honestly, just get fucking real.
Yeah. And I'll be honest with you. I mean, and I'm going to say this, and I'd love to know your thoughts on it. If Brendan Rodgers wants to stay, and I think he would, because I don't see where they would go. But you need to give him a reason. You can't just
exactly. And do you know what really annoys me even further? We've seen what Brendan Rodgers can do with a team.
Yeah,
aye, of course, I never want
it. He thought we don't ever get the
aye. We were a penalty shootout away, by the way, from winning a domestic treble, and while getting to the knockout stages of the Champions League.
That's a perfect season for us.
So why not try and build on that? Why not try and be consistent? We've got a favourable tie in favourable teams in the Champions League as well. By the way, but there's no reason we should not be getting through that playoff tie. There is no teams that I go at. I'm shit scared of them.
Yeah, you would put it that way. You would want them.
But I would be shit scared of them if we're still sitting there with James Forrest starting the right wing in a Champions League game. It's no acceptable.
Yeah.
And I purely got that. We'll get through St Mirren. But it's the games after that. We've got Pataudry, we've got Ibrox, we've got Champions League playoff in between.
Yeah.
We can't gamble at this. It's a joke.
Yeah.
And if people want to come on and tell me what the positives are.
Business practice as well.
Aye.
I mean, who lets their manager go into the last year of his contract? And I don't want to be a smart ass. I really don't. But I called this. I said, Celtic will wait until the last year of his contract. And we say we'll assess it as the season goes on. That's bad business practice. You can't keep doing that.
Exactly. It's mental. It's absolutely mental. And it's just ridiculous. But we're letting go a lot of players. You know, we've seen players like Luis Palma. He's away to like Poznan. We've seen players, you know, Lagerbielke, obviously Naroki went away early in their window. But where's the incomings?
You need to replace bodies.
Exactly.
Bodies.
Nicholas Kuhn went to Como 2 weeks ago, and there's been no sign of a replacement. The latest winger that we've been linked with is Go Ahead Eagles winger, Danish winger, Jacob Brem.
I don't think he's a winger.
I played in the wing last season.
Right.
Danish winger, Jacob Brem from Dutch side, Go Ahead Eagles, and Celtic have bidded 1.5 million now. People are saying this is old news. Doesn't matter if it's old news or new news. It's still the principle for me is still there. £1.5 million for a
it's rated at 5 million.
5 million quid. It's mental. It's absolutely, and it just goes to show that what's happening with this window. The player last season, by the way, won the Dutch Cup with Go Ahead Eagles.
If that's the
And
profile that me and
aye,
you'd be looking for.
but also go ahead. He goes, I want to keep him because he's been. They'll be in the Europa League next year.
Mm.
But I'm sorry, it's complete disrespect to clubs. And I'm going to go against it. It's complete and utter disrespect.
Mm.
And
I'd
and if
money.
people don't think that is, then it is. I'll put it this way. Alistair. Right? Say somebody come in for 5 million for Dies in Maeda. Honestly, we'd be on here ranting and raving and calling it all the disrespects and how it's horrendous. Same
Look at
goes
look at Matt O'Reilly was meant to go to Atalanta last year.
for 18 million, and we were moaning at that.
Aye. But
Uh,
I'll sum it up like this, Josh. If we can sell players and we want top dollar, which I get, but when it comes to buying, we lowball every time, and it's so frustrating. And I can only sum it up like this: we've getting backing, the manager's getting backing, the boardroom's a bank. That's what it
Exactly.
looks like.
It's a bank. And by the way, we bidded 1.5 million for a guy who's got 11, 17 goal contributions in 31 games last season for a Dutch team. Come on, I
And
mean, come
the
on.
Dutch league's a good level.
I mean, come on.
Good level.
It's mental. It is really, really, really bad. And I, I don't know what to say to people. People might go, "What are you panicking for?" Because we kick off our
11
league
days
season.
before the start of the season.
Aye, and the key positions that we said at the start of the window that needs filled:
Not
left
one
centre
of them
half,
have been.
two wingers, and a striker, and not one of them has been filled. And do you know what we'll start getting? And I've already seen this. Oh, we don't need this position now. We don't need that position. We don't need a backup left back. We don't need a midfielder because I've seen this all the time. We start moving the goalposts when it gets to so the phases of your transfer window is, oh well, it's only June, it's only July, and then the middle of July, oh, we don't need a left back. Oh, we don't really need a centre forward. You know what I mean? We're trying to shift the goalposts constantly to try and make it out that's good, and it's horrendous. It's embarrassing that you're bidding 1.5 million for a player that scored. And people, I've heard this nonsense being spouted about that. Oh well, you need to put a bid in first to make sure that you need to make sure that you put a bid in to make sure that the player to know what the player's worth. You telling me a guy who scored has 31, 24 goal contributions and 31 appearances in the Dutch league is worth 1.5 million? Come on, seriously, come off it, man. It's
Well,
mental.
I would maybe understand going in if the player's worth 5, your first bid is about 4. To say, can we get round the table? But
Exactly.
the
Maybe
fact
even 3 million quid. 3 point or maybe 3.5 million. Can we get round the table?
1.5 is an insult.
It's absolutely insulting. We're meant to be a well recognised club in Europe. In terms of stature
Well
and whatever else.
recognised clubs don't behave like that.
It's embarrassing.
And the striker that me and you off camera have said scored last night, by the way, Strelic scored last night in the Champions League qualifier. So why we bid for him in January, allegedly? Well, I don't think allegedly because I think his dad confirmed it, who's his agent. And he said, we could bid 7 million in January, they wanted 9, right? We could do that in January, so why are we not going back in the summer?
Exactly, and it's just been a mess. It's a shambles, and there's only so much. Because I keep hearing this stuff as well about, oh well, we signed Kieran Tierney. How long are we going to hide behind that? I knew this was going to be the case in January. when we signed him in the summer, everybody would forget that because the romance of Kieran Tierney, and I get it. It's brilliant to have Kieran Tierney back. Absolutely brilliant. But you need to give him the tools as well to have a lot of good players up in that left and right hand side.
Well, we'll be playing him like Mikel Arteta was in certain games. We'll be playing him as the winger.
But to see bids like that, if it's old news or not, I don't know. But it doesn't matter. It's the fact we're bidding 1.5 million.
The fact that it was a month ago, he's no coming.
The fact we're bidding 1.5 million for a Dutch playing the Dutch league, who's won the Dutch Cup with Go Ahead Eagles and had I think like 16, 17 goal contributions in 31 appearances, that's just insulting. I'm sorry.
That'd be like offering Crystal Palace for Michael Elise 10 million quid.
Exactly, it's meant. You know, we can't have it both ways. We want it. We want good top dollar when we want to sell our players. So that's how every other club should operate.
No way that. The fans have bought merchandise. They've got how many training ranges? And no discount, no game on the season book. And yet they'll be expected to buy for a playoff.
Alistair, we've got £80 million in the bank, or they're in thereabouts. And by the way, it's not me that keeps going about that. The club keep going about it. We hear it every single year, and it's just an insult every single time. It's just so Peter Lawwell and Michael Nicholson can get these big bonuses for doing fuck all.
I'll keep banging this drum. Since Brendan Rodgers come back, we've sold over £100 million worth in players. Alone. That's
exactly.
without the Champions League money. So, back my ass.
And then if they're wanting all this money, why not back up and get us into Champions? There's another 40 million quid.
Yeah.
We could end up with another need enough £70 million in the bank by the end of September.
Easy.
Because we've sold nearly £30 million if you look at the Frimpong money or this. We counted it the other day. You know, then you've got the 30 or 35, 40 million in Champions League money. Then your 6 match or 8 whatever match package, 5 match, 8 match is it? 8 match package. Then you've got your TV money, everything else. You would easily get about 70, 80 million. So if it's the money thing, it's not the money thing. It's so they can try and get the Champions League right on the cheap, and then they can take big fat dip, get told in September or November, we've took dividends out, I'm not a financial expert, but I'm sorry, I make no apology. They are so far away from Celtic Football Club. They run as like a business, and it's embarrassing.
But when the business is affecting the team, that's when I've got an issue.
It is, and it's affecting the team. You know, it's already having £70 million in the bank, but when you're starting with Forrest, James, no offence to James Forrest, but 34-year-old James Forrest to kick off the league season, nah.
He can't go a full season.
Exactly, no. Exactly. You know, so
Yang wants to leave because as soon as he come out and said, I would like to explore the opportunity, I think was the phrase he used. His head's been turned.
And that's fine. That's up to that. That's fine for. But then it's also, and it's not exactly a world beater player either. So sorry, it's just up to the club to find a replacement. But we seem to be struggling ridiculously to do anything.
Almost 2 weeks for Nicholas Green left. 2 weeks.
And I say to people, and they were like, and it's like, oh well, maybe but we have the same discussions every summer. Every single summer, it's the same discussion. Oh, maybe we'll bring this. Oh, but we know bringing players. Why can we not just learn?
Every time we sign a player, it feels like you've done 12 rounds with Mike Tyson.
I know exactly. It's like they're turning out of Tam Mullen. Tam Mullen.
You bet.
No, Tam. That's still game. It's like she's wanting £300 for that. I've not got the clip. But she's wanting £300 for the motor. How much she going to offer? Or 50 quid? That's what it is. It's mental.
295 and a coin, but it's
Refill. Exactly. But I mean, they know what's coming if we don't kick off the season well, or we get kicked out of the Champions League, or if Rangers beat us at Ibrox in the end of August. They know what's coming.
Forbid Dies Maida gets injured.
But they would know what's coming. Or even worse, if Dies Maida gets sold, I wouldn't put it past them.
No, you
Because I was talking to Nathan yesterday about it, and he's like, what if we go to game for selling Maida? I was like, it's not us, it's Peter Lawwell. You know what I mean? Remember who you're dealing with.
Yeah,
it's profit. I mean, he would happily just gut us, to be honest, to make. And it's the fact of making profit. He's still making.
And at the end of the day, Michael Nicholson and Peter Lawwell are accountants. That's what they are. They're Celtic supporters, but they're no supporters in the respect.
They're idiot. They're clowns. They're absolute clowns. Yeah. I don't make any apology. I'm not going to sit here and act all professional. I don't like them. I hate the board. I support Celtic Football Club. I don't support a board. And if you want to tell me in the comments, oh, you need to, what you shit in the bed for, then you please tell me where this positivity is coming from, because I just can't see it. The only thing I can see a bit of positivity is on the park.
The starting 11.
But it's the same every single. It's the same every single year.
We've got 11 good players and maybe 2 are pushed on the bench. That is it. You're not going to survive with just a 13, 14 man squad, and that's what we're down to. Adam Montgomery is away to Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
So there's another left back out the door.
Aye. And by the way, on the subject of outgoings,
and another winger.
Aye.
That's the 2 positions he plays.
On the subject of outgoings, while we're on it, I'm going to, obviously it looks like Kwon is leaving for Celtic to go to play in France.
We'll always have that 45 minutes, Josh.
Jesus, and the piss and rain, I remember that. Right? Nance are on the verge of signing Celtic FC midfielders, former Celtic Kwon. I genuinely, do you know what, fair fucks to him. I mean, I can't feel that Hibs and St Mirren is going to be playing against fucking Trevicha, Kvaratskhelia, the Champions League winners, PSG, finding probably the best team in world football. It's you know, fair enough. Fair fucks. That's all I can say about that, to be honest. It's mental.
That's what don't get for shafting the Morris Johnson deal, but the Celtic dads will remember that.
No, but fair enough. Hopefully, it does confirm we'll at least get our money back and what we paid for him. But
I believe we say 100,000.
Aye, but Celtic board, they know what's coming. And if they don't get the fans, only going to go in quiet of this. But honestly, we'll have the same discussion next. What I'm trying to say, it doesn't matter who the manager is. We have the same discussion every single summer. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. To be honest with you, they don't give a flying rat's ass, to be honest, about the football side of it.
Do you know something? When Celtic Park, the modern day Celtic Park, was getting built, we were more aggressive then in the transfer market. And Fergus McCann was always accused of being a bit of a skinflint. Compared to this board, it was like Rockefeller.
Because the thing is, with this board, they've got the money to spend. Money's there. And I'm not saying go and spend £40 million. I'm looking at saying maybe like a £5 million winger. Fine.
Well, I couldn't be breaking the bank.
I don't want Peter Lawwell and Dermot Desmond to put Celtic into a complete financial oblivion. But I'm asking for a £5 million winner when you gloat constantly year after year after year about having all 80, 90 million pounds in the bank, profit and all this and profit this and profit that. Come on, you need to put something on the pitch. The players have shown in pre-season there are a few players away from making us a decent side. But yet again, every single summer when it gets right on the pitch, the board always need to make it about them, and we're always talking about the board instead of talking about the actual team. They need to get a grip, and that's the last thing I'm saying on it. Alistair, talking about the team on the pitch, briefly we'll have a wee discussion about the Como Cup. Obviously, we play Ajax tomorrow night in the first kind of game. Obviously, pre-seasons, I think, as I was saying, theirs went pretty well. Good wins against Sporting Lisbon, Newcastle, obviously in the Cork City games, and the Queen's Park game as well. So we had a decent pre-season. I mean, it should be. I'm not really bothered about it. It should be a decent exercise. It looks a decent tournament with others.
Can I be totally frank with you? The current state of our squad, Joshua, I wouldn't play any of the top players because we can't afford to get players injured.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm not going to lie.
Aye.
And to be honest, we'll beat Sport Lisbon and we'll beat Newcastle. So we've had signature results. So I just want nobody injured.
Aye, no, definitely.
Obviously, I want Celtic to win as we always do, but if we lose both games, I'm not going to be sitting crying into my pillow at night.
The chances of us. What's the chances of us not having a winger in by the time we potentially play the winger that we just sold 2 weeks ago?
Odds on, I would say.
And the left sided centre half that we sold that we still haven't replaced, by the way. And the left back that we sold that we booted back to Barcelona we still haven't replaced. Funny that. That's actually really funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, well, maybe
Starfelt and Valle play for them as well. Como.
I don't think Starfelt plays for them, does he?
No, Starfelt signed, I think. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Carol Starfelt signs. Give me 2 minutes, I'll search that up actually, because I'm pretty sure. Which would be just it's so.
What you're trying to tell me is three players that would improve our team is now got to be playing against us.
Give me 2 minutes.
I end up playing Como.
I don't. There was rumours that he was leaving, but I don't know if he's actually left. Let's see.
No, I don't.
It says he apparently is still at Celta Vigo, I think. But I know they were looking at signing him.
I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't against it, but we won't do that. I mean, even if it's a French boy, what's he called, boy?
I know the guy you're talking about.
Aye, even if it's him, I don't want links anymore. I want people in the door.
But I mean, with the transfer window, obviously we'll see what happens. Obviously tomorrow night with the Como Cup, obviously hopefully get another decent result.
And me and Josh would love to be wrong.
I know. I don't support Celtic to act like I'm right all the time, but I would love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I just feel like I'm saying this line every single week.
Unless we change our manager. Go back him for one window.
No, but let's be honest, we're not back Brendan Rodgers in the first window.
No.
We're not back Brendan Rodgers at all.
Look at Ange.
One window.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so that's
my point.
They've got a month of just under a month, or sorry, over a month to fix this. It's up to them. They know what the fans will be fuming and probably that'll be resurrected in the stands when we go to the games. They'll be fuming if we don't get what we need and we do need it. So we'll see what happens. But I'm going to wrap it up there for today's video. We will be back with some sort of post-match reaction tomorrow after that game against Ajax. We'll hopefully talking about another Celtic win in pre-season. Until then, we'll speak to you later. And hail, hail.
Hail, hail.